Hi everybody. Sorry I gotta look while I walk down the stairs. How's everybody doing today? It is a gorgeous day outside here in mid-Michigan, probably around 70 degrees. And we're supposed to get some rain later, but right now it is beautiful. So I thought I would take you out into the garden with me and we will do some harvesting. I'm gonna harvest some basil and show you how to take care of that so that you can keep getting basil all season long. And so without further ado, let's get started. So what we have here is sweet basil. Now you want to keep trimming this back so that it doesn't go to seed. Once it goes to seed, it gets a very strong flavor and it won't keep growing. So it's basically dying at that point. So you want to trim this back a little bit, and it will also help it to bush out instead of growing super tall basil. Some varieties stay very small and compact. Some sweet basil can get quite tall. So we're going to take this back today. And what you want to do is you want to find, hopefully you can see this on camera, these little leaves here that make up the next branch that comes out. I'm going to trim just above those, and then those will spread out and grow, and you will get a nice full basil plant. So we're going to take this, try and do this so I can see it with the camera. And we're going to take it down like this, and we're going to trim it right there. Okay, so I've zoomed in so that you can see this a little bit better, hopefully. You can see there are these little tiny leaves right here. So we're going to cut right above one of those. And that's where we're going to harvest. Then we take this in. This is what we will end up harvesting. Okay, I've changed angles so I can show you this one. So right here, hopefully you can see, there are two sets of flowers here. So we're just going to trim right above it. And I think that's all we're going to do on this plant for right now. And then as this grows, it'll bush out, and we won't have a really tall plant. We will have a bushier plant, which is much better. I'm going to get rid of some of these really yucky looking leaves though. I'm just going to use them up, and it makes the plant look prettier. Here's a great example of what I was talking about with the basil flowering. You can see it's going to flower and then it's going to go to seed. That's what all this is. So if I don't trim this, it'll go to seed and it'll never get any larger, and I eventually won't be able to harvest from it. Even though this is not a very big plant right now, lemon basil tends to get pretty tall. I had it last year, probably 2.5 to 3 feet tall. But it's in this bed. You can see it's kind of crowded in here. We've got calendula growing right here, and it's right next to my tomatoes. That was by design. Basil is wonderful to plant next to tomatoes. It is said to enhance the flavor of the tomatoes, as well as it helps to keep the tomato hornworms away. And if you've ever had them in your garden, you will try to find every way you can to keep them away. So I'm going to trim this off right here, right above those little leaves, just like that. And that's going to encourage that to keep growing. And there's another one right there. So we're going to come, let's see if I can move this camera down. There's another one right here. So we're going to trim that one off as well. That one's already been trimmed. There's another one right there. So we're going to take this right down here. You can see this next area right here, right above these little leaves. And that's all there is to that. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope you go out and harvest all your basil and enjoy it in your dishes. One way that I like to preserve basil, aside from drying it, of course, is to put it in a little bit of olive oil and freeze it in ice cube trays. And then you can just pop out an ice cube one at a time as you want to use it in your frying pan or whatever. And it just adds the wonderful flavor all year round, even when you don't have fresh basil to grow in your garden. So I hope that helps. And if you want to see an instructional video on how to preserve basil or anything else, leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.